Hi guys, putting here with a game for you in my Tier 10 French heavy cruiser, the Henri V. Or the 4th. Roman numerals. Now, my captain skills are going to be priority target, expert marksman, adrenaline rush, basics of survivability, demo expert, AFT, and concealment. My modules are going to be protect my main batteries, longer running speed boost, longer shooting AA, faster rudder, concealment, and longer range on my main battery. Now, this is the one ship that Sneaky kind of tells me, yeah, I can see you going with the range mod. Everything else he yells at me, reload, reload, reload. Now, I usually tend to agree with Sneaky. Most of the tier 9 and 10 ships have enough range. The Americans, you want to take advantage of islands, so you kind of want reload there more than range. But with the Henri, the reason I go with range mod is I'm not a skillful cruiser player. I'm not a cruiser main. If you play cruisers and are extremely good at them, you would be better off with the reload mod on the ship than range. Range gives me more options. What I want to do is try to get to a flank and stay at range. I want to keep as much distance from me as possible. It's going to give me as much time, well, it's going to give me more time to dodge incoming shells. Now, while I will get up and, while I will get fairly close to some of my engagements to where reload would have been better, the other reason I prefer range comes down to turret traverse. These are slow turning turrets to begin with, and slapping on the reload kind of limits that. Sneaky has a lot better situational awareness than I do. I have a tendency of deal what's in front of me, pay attention to the minimap to where I want to go next. But usually I deal with the problem in front of me, to where Sneaky's usually dealing with the problem in front of him while starting to do his maneuvers to get to the next situation he wants to deal with. Sneaky's just a little bit faster with his thought process than I am. Now, the Henri has some excellent AP, and you will catch a lot of people a little bit unaware if they are showing you some sort of side. I would have been better off with HE at that situation, but, I was kind of hoping he would open up. See the rune, he's giving me plenty of side, and you know what? The other thing with the range mod is things are going to have a difficult time running away from you. I will shoot at destroyers when I possibly can. I probably should have done it a little bit sooner instead of taking a shot in on the rune, but you know what? Hindsight is always 20/20. We definitely need to deal with this Baltimore. We need to get them out of that position so our destroyers can potentially get in there and do their job. This Iowa should be safe for a little bit. Gonna take a shot in on the Chungmu because, well, it is a destroyer. I am a cruiser. It's food. Num num food. Even though this is much better at getting on flanks, you still take the shot because you never know. We're seeing if I can get shots in on the Baltimore. The Chungmu's doing a good job of dodging. Our Iowa's doing a good job of YOLOing. It's just a matter of will he be able to stay alive. I get a lucky hit on Chungmu, and I will say lucky because I anticipated this turn a little bit, and it actually paid off for me. Now, I should have stayed focused on the Chungmu, but luckily, because he went dark, having my turrets turn, looking at this other stuff, got me lucky. The other thing is I do believe the Chungmu is divvied up with the other two Super Unicums, which means there's a Super Unicum div in this game. There are two ways to deal with Super Unicums. You ignore them, deal with all the cannon fodder they leave in front of you, and then there's nothing else left but for them to shoot. But with it being a DD, you still take your shots in on time because the DD is the one that is giving the rest of the division the sight as far as where and what ships are doing. See that number hit 5, I hit my speed boost, and I am running for the hills. The Henry is an excellent kiting ship, but you will notice you're probably going to lose your rudder an awful lot. Now, I had the HE loaded because I wanted to damage modules, I wanted to set fires, even though AP would have been a better choice for the initial salvo, but I don't run expert loader. I just fire what's in the barrel. I have the next thing I want loaded in the next one. And you know what? That's how I deal with changing shells. I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to shell switching to where Sneaky's a lot more proactive. Take my shot as the Hindenburg just as the Yamato showed up, and you know, of course I had it wrong. Ammo type loaded, but you know what? Any damage I consider is good damage. I want to burn down the Yamato as fast as possible because it's Yamato, and Yamatos don't care about anyone and or their angling. This is going to help out our battleships and our cruisers all at the same time. I get a nice 7K salvo with the HE as I get hit with some lag. I got hit with lag a couple times in this game. I get one fire on this guy and notice he's running fire prevention, which means there's a good chance he's going to let that burn, so I immediately switch to the AP. If this is what they're going to do, let it burn, have the AP loaded, and start punishing their broadside. Not sure if it was lag or my lack of skill of noticing the Yamato going forward, but those HE shells completely whiffed. Fortunately, the Yamato is starting to show some sort of side. I aimed too high, and I didn't aim into the superstructure. Now, we have lost 4 ships to their 1, but we do have the cap advantage. We are capping B, they are not contesting it. We had A. So, you know what? We can start making up points. That way they're finally starting to cap C. The other thing is the entirety of the enemy is in the, what is that, southwest corner here. You know, they're all bunched up 8, 9, 10 line. None of them have really managed to push out. We have a Zal that is coming up from behind them. I am holding this flank with a rune, while the rest of our ships are kind of near B. We are kind of scattered all over the place while the enemy is not. Now this can be a good thing and it could be a bad thing at the same point. The reason this could be a bad thing is because if these guys decide to focus fire, all of their ships are in one spot looking at the same thing. This can be a good thing because they're not going to have very many targets if they do deal with something. If you get 1 or 2 of those ships not to focus fire, you're doing a good job. You're taking firepower away from whatever is getting focused. But at this point, it's like, you know what we really need is just start burning these guys. You know what we just need to do as much damage, keep as much focus on us as possible, and not on our battleships. Now, obviously, something is spotting me. Well, it looks like most of their fleet is behind the island, which means there's probably a DD up my butt. As the New Orleans is the one who pops out, and it could have been this guy spotting me. But well, like I was saying about turret traverse earlier, this is some of the reason why I do use the range mod. Is just because, you know what, my turrets will turn a little bit faster. It gives me more. The other thing is, like I said, it gives me more options. I can run away if these guys are going to push into me. I can continue to fire at longer ranges compared to where if I was running the reload. I'm not saying reload is better. I'm not saying range is better. But for me, I have played with both. I just prefer range mod. on the Henry. You know, if these guys were pushing into me and I had a nice, you know, while I have nice wide open here, you know what, range mod would be better because I could get more DPM. But here's the other thing. If I had the reload, a lot of these guys would technically be out of my gun range. Just having that 1-2 extra kilometer is kind of keeping me relevant and in this fight. I'm using all of the range I possibly can. But here's the other thing. You know, these guys are focused on the enemy battleship, which means I'm getting free shots. Now I have 2 of them focused on me, which means that there's less targets shooting at our battleship in our group and on A. The other thing is I'm running away from these guys. They're going to have a very difficult time hitting me because I am so far away and because the travel time for shells is so long. But that works vice versa. My shells also have a very long travel time, so it's fairly easy for them to dodge, which is why I'm focusing on battleships. It's easier to hit battleships at range than cruisers. Cruisers, for the most part, are very maneuverable. Even the sluggish Hindenburg can easily dodge my shells. Battleships, not so much because they're so big. But you know what? If the cruisers are close, I'm going to take shots in on them. And yeah, I'm saying 16 kilometers is close. No, not really. But you know what? He is in front of the Lion. He is pushing in. And with him moving in means I have less of a travel time than his shells do if I'm running away. If I'm running away, his shells have even more travel time. Mine will have less because I'm moving away. He's moving in. Get 2 fires on a row, and I figured, you know what? I might as well spread the joyous love that is the Henri AG and try to set as many fires as possible. Now I'm just dropping preemptive torps because, well, why not? They're 6 kilometers and you never freaking know if they'll hit anything. They're not particularly fast, so they may have a chance that something will catch up to these torpedoes as I manage to burn the rune down. There's a pesky Fletcher. He's extremely low. All I need is 1 lucky shell, and I'm saying lucky because this is very long range against a destroyer. Usually takes me 2-3 salvos to even sight in a DD as I take a big whack from, I believe, the Alsace. He's immediately going to make me turn away. As I put a fire on him, I want to make sure that that was burning, but I see a Yamato. I believe his guns were looking in my direction. The last thing I want is him shooting at me. Noticed he wasn't shooting at me, but I still want to deal with the Yamato. But what I should have done was save that salvo, turn, deal with the Alsace first. Get him before he potentially gets the heal up. Notice I'm going to run aground, which means I need to complete this turn, which is not a good thing. Lack of situational awareness. Or I could just not do what I'm going to say, turn away, miss the shells, and just beach anyways, and then shoot like an idiot prior to checking to see if I was going to make this turn. I got lucky there. This was not some great skill. I just got lucky that I was not going to beach there with my maneuvering. But this is what range does for me. It gives me more options. I can do more wiggle stuff and keep my guns on bear instead of having to wait for my turrets to turn. That is primarily the main reason I went with the range mod, is my turrets can turn a little bit faster. The bonus is also I get, you know, more wiggle room as far as range. As you can see, I am shooting things that are far away. I am taking advantage of my range module. I'm not going to sit here and say you need reload, you need to follow exactly what the arguably the best cruiser player on the server does. I say arguably because I think there are a couple better cruiser players than Sneaky, but Sneaky is definitely in the top 3. If you are a cruiser main, you're better with reload. If you're not, you're better with range. I'm slowing down. I'm playing with my speed also to make this guy potentially miss. But you know what? If he's ignoring me, awesome. If not, you know what, I can easily just get up to speed. The other reason I slowed down is because I knew it was coming behind this island. And you know what, I wanted to get some free cheeky shots in on him. Notice this North Carolina, got to deal with him. Have to get rid of low health targets at this time. Now, I'm kind of sending ish torps. I probably never should have sent these because our DD's in the area and he's turning back. These are bad torps sent by me. This is shame on me. And if they hit this Benson, it's 100% my fault. It is not the Benson's fault. It is not the Benson's responsibility to dodge maneuver around me trying to torp something that may or may not be there. As you can see, I put in chat. I pinged a map. I say torps. I apologize. These are just horrific torps that never, ever should have been sent, and I'm going to call myself out on it. Was hoping that the North Carolina was going to be broadside for the AP, but hey, 2000, it still works. Was immediately switching back to HE, and that's what I mean by I will just shoot what's in the barrel, have the next set of whatever I want loaded in and ready to go. Now, this game is not in the bag because if we start losing ships rapidly, these guys will make a comeback. And so we still have to play a little cautiously. I thankfully have most of my heals. I have a significant chunk of my health, but at any point, any battleship can just outright delete me, even though I am a French cruiser. If our Benson gets hit with torpedoes, it's game over for him. And, well, it's game over for our Benson because he got hit by the Fletcher torps that I failed to connect with. And this is what I mean. If these guys can start killing ships, they are going to pull this back. They now have the DD advantage, but with those torps coming in on the Yamato, I don't think he's going to be able to dodge all of them, and Benson is going to get just a flesh wound. And now the post-battle results. Now, I hope you guys really did enjoy the video. I hope you at least got a little bit insight on why I go with the range mod instead of the reload mod. Just because somebody uses one module different than you doesn't mean they're right, and it doesn't mean you are wrong. It just, you know, you got to pick what suits your playstyle and skill level. We do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. We do love the replays you send in. The email for that is in the description down below. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. And on that note, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button and have a great day.